Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the new Mechanicore QMS 400 Kyrosa-Q. Now, a couple things right off the bat. I just want to say I am not going to be building this and doing a review of this right away. This is not going to be built for a long while, so just before you ask or anything about that, don't expect to see this built anytime soon. I'm just going to be doing an unboxing of this for you guys for now. The other thing is that this is the white version of this kit. There are three different versions of the kit. There is a white, just like normal colors. There's also clear red, and then clear bluish purple is kind of clear purple, but I think they call it clear blue. Anyway, so I have this white version as well as the clear blue version. One is going to be mine and one is going to be my friend here in Korea, Alex, his. We ordered ours together, so I have them both currently in my possession. Alex said go ahead and just unbox both of them, do whatever. So I'll be unboxing both of them, but only one of them will ultimately be mine. And then I also have the model stand and fin funnel set, as well as the weapon set to unbox and show for you guys as well. All that stuff was all sold separately this time. I think Mechanicore has this thing with, like, every time they put out a kit, they try something new. And like for the Kshatriya, when they were Ellen, they tried putting all the parts in trays separately instead of on runners, and that was like everyone hated that. Then I think with their version of the Kasi, they decided to put the manual on a DVD format instead of an actual book manual, instruction manual for that, and I think everyone pretty much hated that as well. And they always seem to like try something that usually is not really well received. I mean, good on them for trying something new, but usually doesn't really work out that well. In this case, it seems like what they've tried is separating their stuff more. So like you can buy just the kit and you can buy the base and stand, the thing, all of that separate. And you can buy the weapon set separate. So in this case, I think it's kind of okay because you know, not everyone may want the stand for it. I got a stand for myself. Not everyone may not want the weapon set. I personally did not want the weapon set, so I was glad that it's separate. I got one. It's not going to be mine though, so I'll unbox that for you guys. Anyway, let's get into unboxing because there's a lot of stuff to unbox. This is a very large box, as you can see here. The dimensions of just the front of this are a little bit larger than like a large size master grade box. Just in terms of these front dimensions here. So as you can see, we have the name here, and it says white type. This says here this is the body set as opposed to the weapon set or the base set. So HDP here, high definition PLA model. I can't help but say it in Korean. PLA model. And yeah, so just really cool box art here. As you can tell, you've already been looking at it for like 3 minutes. But really, really cool box art there with just a CG render image with the earth there in the background. The box is really heavy, so excuse me here while I struggle to turn this around for you guys. Here on the side, we can just see the logo there, some line art in the background. 1:72 scale, so it's a little bit odd scale, but I believe that's just because they use a 1/100 scale, and their 1/100 scale frame that they use for all their kits is pretty large. So the Qubeley is kind of large design, so I think it just fit to 1/72 scale better using that 1/100 scale frame. So I don't know. Anyway, that's why I think why they ended up just using that kind of odd scale. It's not that odd, but it's odd for Gundam kits. So we have the FSS oriented style. That's 5-star stories as far as anyone can tell. So that like the design of this was kind of inspired by 5-star stories style designs, and you can kind of see that definitely in some parts, so that kind of makes sense. And then 2,200 limited. So that's why I think some people may get confused as to why I buy these kits from Mechanicore and then like never build them. I will build them eventually, but the thing why I buy them right away is because they're limited release, and if you don't buy them right away, then there's a good chance that you may never be able to buy them, or you'll end up paying a lot more down the line, so it's better to just buy them right away. The other side is exactly the same, so I'll just show you the bottom here. Here, this is the Kyrosa-Q white type body set. They're all individually numbered. Mine is number 480, so it's pretty low out of 2,200. It's pretty good, I guess. Here's CG rendered images of what the frame is going to look like without the extra armor. So I believe that this here will probably be the same for all three versions, because the different versions of the kit just have different colored armor. So I believe probably most of this will be the same on all of the kits. I believe the hands, so maybe what you're seeing pink on this kit may be different for the other versions, but most everything is going to be the same, I suppose. So there's just the final inspection label there, some stuff there. Doesn't really matter, just showing the materials, ABS, screws, all of that. This will have a lot of different stuff inside. Here on the other side, on the top of the box, we've got just front and back view. Again, this is all CG renders. There's no actual photos of the finished kit. Unfortunately, they don't do that. It would be nice if they would like show finished photos of the kit like before release, or even like upon the time when they start taking pre-orders, but unfortunately they don't work that way. We just have to rely on their CG rendered images. So anyway, it's a really interesting style kit. The Qubeley is not for everyone, but this is definitely a very interesting take on the Qubeley, I think. So here we've got some kit spec data. The overall height is 315 millimeters. Head height 286 millimeters. So 28 centimeters tall. It's going to be quite tall, definitely larger than a 1/100 scale Qubeley kit from Bandai. Obviously it's 1/72 scale, so it's going to be definitely pretty large. It says aluminum parts 23 pieces, LED parts 45 pieces, screws and nuts 12 sets, photo etch 105 pieces. That's a lot of photo etch in there, dang, didn't know that. Water slide decals 1 set, but I'm sure it's a pretty large one. Powered by mini USB connector. Total components 1,397 pieces, so a lot of stuff in here. Let's go to the back and open this up. Okay, so let's pull off the top if we can get this to come off. Come off. Yeah. Okay, anyway, open this up. Okay. So here inside we have a lot of stuff. First off, here's our instruction manual. There's the photo etch parts, quite a lot of those. Here's the water slide decals, quite a lot of those. They look like mostly, there's a lot of these silver ones. Now, there's a lot of these, and I don't care for those at all whatsoever, so there's a good chance that what I might do with mine is sell these or something and just get another set of decals for this or something. I'm not sure, but like all these rows and like butterflies stuff, I'm definitely not going to use that stuff. So there's a bunch of green, and then like all these are like hot pink colored, so not really too jazzed on that color either as well. And there's some white there as well, but definitely quite a lot of water slide decals. We'll come back and look at the manual here in a minute. Here is a bunch of our components. Here for the LED, there are USB cable, a bunch of metal screws, LED wiring stuff, some more small photo etch stuff there, a couple of small LEDs there. And so it looks like you probably will have to do a little bit of soldering with this kit. It looks like, I'm not quite sure though, just from looking at this. But then we have our small seated pilot figure of Haman. There we go. Obviously not technically, but it's pretty obviously supposed to be Haman. We do have some clear parts in this, even though this is not the clear version. Some clear green parts, beam saber effects, a few clear blue parts. Those are going to be going in the binders. Then we have some hands, some more clear parts, and it's pretty much just all parts. And then there's a second box underneath, or at least a separator. Get that stuff out of the way, and then we have a partition here in the middle of the box, which is just going to separate out more runners there in the bottom. Lots and lots of runners. Alright, so why don't we take a look at the manual. Right, so here we are. Again, just CG render there. Same kind of information we saw on the outside of the box. And then back view on this side. I don't really care for like their version of like the Neo Xeon symbol there on the back skirt, but it's just there. So in here we've got our parts list here at the start. So you've got all of our runners there. These are interestingly numbered. I believe their previous kit, the Deep Striker, was also numbered, not lettered. So instead of ABC, they're just 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 24, 25, 25 ABC there. So quite a lot of runners. Then here's a parts list of our other smaller stuff: photo etch, pilot figure, metal detail parts there, screws, and those LED parts here. You can check all of that, make sure you have everything. And then the manual itself, which you're holding in your hand, so I don't really know what the point of putting that in the manual was, but then the water slide decals. So let's see, let's get into the construction here. Construction is going to be starting off with the head. Here you can see we're going to be doing the LED wiring at the same time. So it looks to be like color coded. Here you can see the assembly sequence is orange first, then pink, then blue, then green. So interesting that they, and then white, which you can't really see there. Interesting that they decided to color code that instead of just using numbers or something like Bandai does. But again, like I said, Mechanicore gets a little experimental sometimes with their ways. And yeah, it's interesting. All right, so then we've got next after the head is what appears to be the front skirt. Interesting order. So after the front skirt, then the rest of the torso. A lot of wiring going to be going inside the torso there. This thing has quite a lot of LEDs built into it. All of the torso. A lot of that. So here you can see this is all photo etch parts fitting into the chest vents there. That'll be fun. All of the torso, then torso. We're still finishing up the torso, still working on the side skirts there. Then putting the whole body together with the side skirts and the top parts of the legs, hip joints. Then onto the backpack, then onto the wing binders, shoulder binders, whatever you want to call them, shoulder binders. The shoulder parts, which will hold the binders. Hopefully those are nice and sturdy, because the binders are going to surely be pretty heavy. The thruster units on those, the arms, finishing up the arms, putting all that together, then moving on to the legs, doing the frame of the leg first, then the feet, then the rest of the armor for the legs, and then finishing up the legs, then final assembly, putting the head and backpack on, connecting the legs. You got just wires to connect there, connecting the arms, and then just the beam saber. You can see just the beam saber handle itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts there, and then the beam saber effect that will plug into the arm there, and then plugging it into USB. And then here is going to show you where all the decal markings are going to go. We have some nice big color reference images here for those. Yeah, alright, that's it for the manual. So now let's get through the runners. Alright, we got a lot of runners to get through, so let's get going. This is actually from the Mechanicore Zerstore kit. This is from Mechanicore's Kasi kit. This was the first kit that Mechanicore made after they reformed into Mechanicore after their Ellen stint. And so, yeah, these we've seen in a few different kits now, and I believe from the other runners we saw there are some different size beam saber effect parts. But anyway, these are just very large green beam saber effect parts. Runner 1, here is white parts. These appear to be all the parts for the head, so I'm wondering if these parts are going to be somewhat separated by section of the build, or at least possibly like in order of the building order. We saw in the manual the head was the first thing that we build, so it kind of makes sense that the runners are starting off with the head. We'll have to see if that continues throughout the rest of the runners. Well, temporarily for runner 2 here, it looks like that is the case. These look like all the inner frame parts that are going to be going inside the head here. From what I can tell, it's of course kind of hard to tell because it's just a lot of inner working parts. But the runner marking for these, just in case anyone was wondering, is going to look like this. We have the number there, 02 in this case, and then Kyrosa-Q, QMS 400 there on the back. Nothing. Runner 3 here, a lot of inner frame parts here, and one of the things about the Mechanicore kits that's always great is all the details on the inner frame. Now, of course, the majority of that does often get covered up, unfortunately, so I think that's one of the reasons why, in this case, with their Qubeley kits, why they decided to make 2 of the versions in clear, like the clear red and the clear blue version, so that you're able to see a lot more of that inner detail. Now, when I unbox the clear blue version, we'll see how well that clear blue looks. So I'm not sure at the moment. There's a lot of clear parts that they're going to have to put in there, so we'll see how that looks in that unboxing video. But anyway, the details of these are looking very, very nice. You can see we have all kinds of details there on the inner frame. Runner 4, getting into some pink parts here. I'm not exactly sure where a lot of these are going. I believe this is probably going in the front or back skirt, possibly back skirt. Probably chest piece there, it looks like, and then just a whole bunch of other stuff here. Runner 5 is more pink, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I know like all these are going inside the binders, other stuff going here or there inside the legs and other places. So we do have 2 of Runner 5, as this is all parts that are doubled for the arms and legs. Runner 6 is back to gray for more inner frame parts. Looks like mostly there you can see for the waist, and then who knows what else, all that other stuff, but anyway. Runner 7, lucky number 7, is another staple of Mechanicore kits. It is a chrome plated runner, so we always get some chrome plated parts in Mechanicore kits. The chrome plating is pretty good. I mean, it's nice, but I just personally don't really like these parts for the most part, so I'll probably, whenever I end up building this kit, probably strip the chrome off the majority of these parts, maybe keep like some of these inner piston parts chromed. But we can see on the front and back, there's the huge thrusters that are going to be going inside the shoulders, where we got some LEDs inside there. Very interestingly, how I recently noticed that these are molded basically exactly like thrusters on the space shuttle. So if you look at what the thrusters look like on like the NASA space shuttles, they look exactly like this, so it's kind of interesting. And we do have 2 of this runner, so we have a lot of little chrome plated parts. Runner 8 is back to white for some small parts, big parts, and everything in between. Runner 9 here is now the 6th color. We've had white, gray, clear green, pink, and chrome. Now we have a light tan color here, so pretty interesting. Getting lots of different colors here in terms of just the colors the parts are molded in. So we just have a bunch of different little parts here on Runner 9. Then Runner 10 is yet another new color in this very light blue color here, a bunch of little parts on there, Runner 10. Then Runner 11 is another new color. This is a kind of character yellow color. It's definitely a unique color of yellow. It's slightly orangish, and this is just a whole bunch of little vent parts and little detail parts for some pistons and vents and all of that kind of fun stuff. Runner 12 is back to gray for a whole bunch of more inner frame parts and detail parts and all of that. And Runner 13, more gray frame parts. Again, lots of stuff here. One thing that Mechanicore kits do usually have a lot of, aside from having really nice detail, they usually also do have a lot of flash. So you can see a lot of here on the trees, but then on the parts they will also have some flash on there too. Relatively simple. I mean, you can either cut or sand a lot of that away, but it is going to slow down your building process, as you will have to do a little bit more cleanup on some of these parts. And Runner 13 is another double, so we have 2 13 runners. And then the same thing for Runner 14. Runner 14 is once again more gray, more inner frame parts, and we have doubles of this one as well. Then Runner 15, more gray, more inner frame, and more doubles. Alright, then we're back to white as we're temporarily done with the inner frame. There is one more runner, actually a couple more runners of frame parts still yet to go, but we're going back to the outer armor here for Runner 16, as we have a lot of larger parts there. Obviously quite noticeably the parts for the shoulder binders, and then a few other parts there as well. You can see here on these nice detail. Molded a lot of empty space there, but then a lot of like nice little edge details around there. You can see just flash on there as I was talking about, so you'll have to do a little bit more sanding on these, but otherwise very nice. And did I mention that Runner 16 is another doubled runner? Yay! Then Runner 17 is back to this really cool light tan color for like more inner frame parts, but this is like second layer inner frame, so that's why they're in this different color now. A lot of detail on these parts inside the binders here. When we have the clear parts, on the clear version of this kit, you're going to be able to see all these details and stuff in there, so it's going to look really good when that's all painted. And 17 is yet another doubled runner. Moving right along here, Runner 18 is back to white, just a whole lot of small little parts. This is sort of like inner armor parts and then detailed parts and all of that fun stuff. And Runner 18 is once again doubled. And we have a new color here for Runner 19. This is clear pink. So this is going to be a lot of these clear pink detail parts that are going to fit in areas around where we have LEDs, where you're going to be able to get some LED light shining through these clear pink parts. It's going to look really, really cool. Then runner 20 is not the most interesting, but it is definitely useful. It is our polycap runner. So this is not labeled separately, just like PC something, whatever, is labeled as an actual runner. Runner 20 in this case. Not a whole lot of polycaps considering how big and elaborate this kit is, but we definitely have some that we're going to be using in this case. Runner 21 is the parts for our hands. So we can say we have the left and right hands here molded all in pink with the fingers articulated, molded with their articulation. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but molded like perfect grade or real grade style hands where you have the multiple injection there so that the fingers, as soon as you cut them out, they're going to be articulated at the joints. So that's really nice. You can see these are really nicely detailed fingers there, nice and sharp, and details on those. So that's pretty cool. Then runner 22 is once again back to white, as we have a bunch of parts here, including some of our funnel parts that are going to be going in the back skirt. And so of course we have 2 of runner 22, but thankfully this is our last doubled runner. And also, thankfully, runner 23 here is our last white runner. So this is going to be the last of the white parts, obviously parts there for the legs. This one here, that their version of the Neo Xeon symbol that's going on the back skirt. So a bunch of the larger and more strangely shaped parts here for the outer armor. And then 24 is back to gray for more inner frame parts here. This looks again like mostly stuff for the legs. So it seems like the number of the runners is sort of laid out like going along with the construction of the kit itself. Not exactly, but it seems to follow that pretty closely. And then lastly is runner 25A. We have 25A, B, and C. 25A here is just in plain clear. So here's just some more clear parts where we're going to get some LED lights shining through there. Runner 25B, we have 2 of these. These are in like a clear or light blue color. These are going to be going in the wing shoulder binders, I believe. And then 25C is once again in clear green. So we started with clear green and then we're ending with clear green. We have some smaller beam saber effect parts just for comparison. Here you can see there's the larger ones and the smaller ones compared, so you're going to have some different options, I guess, if you want. And there's a couple more like small green ones there, I'm guessing for cameras and stuff as well. And that is finally it. So that is it for this extremely long unboxing of the latest Mechanicore kit here, their version of the Qubeley, the Kyrosa-Q. These Mechanicore unboxings always do take a long time because obviously they have a lot of stuff in there. They're basically like perfect grades, sometimes even more so than a Bandai Perfect Grades, so definitely a lot of stuff to go through. So thank you guys for your patience. Hopefully that was helpful for anyone who's interested in getting these kits. If you're interested in getting this kit, get one right away, because like I said, they're only going to be harder to find in the future and more expensive. So that's it for this. Again, just a reminder, I will not be building this kit anytime soon, so just don't ask. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to share with you guys what this is going to look like. Just the parts and all of that, what you're going to be getting in the box. So again, hopefully that was helpful for anyone who's on the fence about getting it. Up next, I'm going to be unboxing the clear blue version, so hopefully that will move a little bit faster, not as much stuff to talk about as I've already talked about it in this video. So I'll see you guys then. Bye bye!